Hi everybody, this is Diana in LA and Cary in the UK, and we're here to talk about this week's stars. Welcome to our weekly reading where we explore all things astrological. From our two different points of view in two different locations in the world, we bring to you a unique astrological perspective on what is happening right now across the globe. So here we go. Well, where do we begin? We've got this T-square happening more, continuing on, tightening up. It's a lot. And it's interesting to see what areas, what structures in your life are changing. To me, it's very interesting as we come to the new moon next Sunday, coming up to a new moon in Leo. We're going to have a very hot time of it. In California, where I am from, the temperatures are high. Up in the West Coast, in the northern West Coast especially, there's lots of fires going on. There's a lot of drama in the sky going on. Cary, I know you have a lot to say about that. What are you seeing from your side of the world?
Hi everybody, hope you're well, hope you've had a good week. This is the week of the T-square. It's going to be a challenging week. Look at the news that's coming out. And it seems to me a lot of the news at the moment is about climate change. And the thing about climate change is it's affecting the structures of our countries. So for example, on Sunday, last Sunday, in London, well actually in the UK, but in London, a month's rainfall fell in a day. We had floods in the high street. We had stations closed during flooding, and this is taking place all around Europe. In addition, the news that seems to be coming out, which is not COVID related, is about climate change. And when you look at the news on Sunday, look to see what comes up about climate change, because when you've got the Sun and Mercury conjunct each other exact, that's concentrated thinking, and it's causing the T-square with Saturn and Uranus. Some of the news that came out this week was about what's happening in Antarctica, that the rate of melting of the glaciers up there is so great that it's going to have a massive effect. They've even come out with, in today's news, that the UK could be expecting in the future 40-degree summers. We don't have 40-degree summers. We can't cope with 40-degree summers. We've got to start thinking, what does that mean? And if it also means we're going to have this extreme heat and extreme storms, what are we going to do about the flooding? Because there's loads of flooding that's taking place. So part of the dynamic of the T-square is about focusing on the structures of our planet and what we can do to ease this global warming if possible.
And what a good example to use as a structure as glaciers, right? These are fixed objects, it seemed, and they're melting. And we're all very well aware of that, but just as another example of these structures that we think are solid are changing, moving. So these are powerful times. And when we've got this T-square in fixed signs, so the way things are, and I loved what you said, Cary, Sun conjunct Mercury inside the T-square, fixed thinking. So here in America, we're watching the hearings about the insurrection and listening to police officers that were there. And it is just heartbreaking because talk about a structure. Our own democracy is threatened, right? And so this is in the news right now on this week of this really intense fixed sign T-square.
Part of the testimony that came through this week was from one of the officers, and I think he said that defending the capital was scarier than serving in Iraq. What does that say about the structure of the United States in regards to that event that took place? That was a real challenging event. So now, in the T-square, where they're talking about that event which could have affected the structure of the United States quite dramatically. It's all happening in the time where Mercury is coming nearer towards the Sun. And it's focusing on that kind of thinking. So you've got areas where we're focusing on climate change, political structures, and COVID. Those are the three main things that are happening at this moment in time.
Yes, and the great big moving pieces of power in the world, right? From America being a very big power in the world, one of the biggest, probably the biggest in the world for such a long time, England, China. There's all of these moving parts that are happening as things reorganize of how we interrelate as a world. And the other thing I'll just mention is, we talked about it last week, was the blue moon of the full moon, blue moon in Aquarius Leo, right? And so what's happening is now we're having the new moon next Sunday in Leo. And again, more power, more wattage. Leo is hot. Leo is the sun, right? And so we've got a lot of Leo energy this whole month.
So if you're born on 1st of August, 1st of May, 1st of November, 1st of February, you're going to really feel, if your sun is at that sign, you're going to really feel the effects of that T-square. If you've got another major planet at that sign, you're also going to feel the effects of the T-square on what the planet represents. So if it's Venus, for example, your love life could be quite challenging, your relationships could be quite challenging. But from a sun sign point of view, it's quite an important week.
Yeah, really good. And the only relief we really have, I mean, there's some little relief points all week long, but the major one, I suppose, would be Venus trining Uranus in Earth signs. So that's lovely. So that'll be happening all week long, which means there's still hope, there's still vision, there's still a lot of collective awareness that's happening. That's Uranus, and it's trining Venus, of the planet of beauty and ideals, and what is our next step as a group as we move into these new times. How do we respond to them in a creative way? And that's all happening simultaneously. So even though it's tough, it's intense, we are growing. And so these are the times we've been waiting for, and we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the midwives of this next phase of humanity in a way, and we're responsible to make those decisions that will help our world and heal our world. So with that in mind, be conscious of how you're living in your life, how these planets may be affecting you in your life, and what is the highest thing we can do rather than what is the lowest thing we can do, right? And lift it up, lift this matter up. Try to raise the vibration of what's happening around us in our world.
I think the word hope is a really good word, because that is the word that we should use going forward. We're all full of hope. But what's happening at the moment on various levels is focusing our attention on the knock-on effects of what's happening at the moment. So with coronavirus and all the challenges that are going on there. What's happening now, because of the environment and the man's effect on the environment, Earth is starting to recalibrate again. So we have to be aware of it, and this is a really important time to focus on issues of climate change and what it can mean for the world and our structures going forward.
Exactly, and we are recalibrating too. So the structures are recalibrating, the earth is recalibrating, we're getting stronger immune systems to fight COVID, and all of the changes that are happening on this planet right now, which just continue marching forward as the world and we can recalibrate to the new conditions. So these are all things to think about and look at in your own life and in our world, and help heal our world. We wish you a very powerful, good week. And if you're enjoying these Astrocasts, we hope that you will share them, like them, comment on them, and subscribe. We are up on YouTube and ASTRO UKLA, Facebook, and Instagram. So we'll see you next week with another broadcast of ASTRO UKLA. Have a great week, everyone.
Have a lovely week, everyone, and I hope it's a good one for you. Take care.